When we get into internet circles, it's hard to see that there's a lot of other different circles out there. And today I'm going to just kind of go over why RazorFist has utterly won the game, and it's by going into different circles. I call them silos a lot of the time because it's kind of like missile silos. You know, you got one missile here, you got one there. You know, you get a bunch added up and you get an arsenal. And staying in one silo is kind of a trap. And there's some people out there that want to keep everybody in just silos. And of course, that's what the mainstream industry often does, is keep everybody in this one silo. I mean, they've kept the entire comic book industry in one silo. And this goes for beyond comics, too. It goes for books, for film, because it's all about control at the end of the day. And this is why I posted this yesterday. I don't know who needs to hear this, but working at Marvel and DC Comics is not an indicator of talent or authority or knowing what makes good comics. We know this. I mean, we've been talking about for the last decade how horrible everything coming out of Marvel and DC is. It's basically demonic stuff at this point. This representation of Mary Jane is ridiculous. And what they've done to Mary Jane, what they've done to Peter Parker, is a bastardization, bad fan fiction of everything that came before. They're not somehow more professionally talented than you or I, the better storytellers. It's BS. It's using that authority as a credential to show, you know what, because this corporation hired me, that makes me somebody you should worship. And that's how the comic industry has sucked people into basically, Marvel and DC are one entity at this point, not even two. But they've duped a lot of fans into just believing, hey, if you're not a part of that, you're not real. And almost every good comic that comes out does not come from somebody who worked at Marvel and DC these days. That's just the truth about it. And the reason that is because Marvel and DC only hire hacks at this juncture. That doesn't mean everybody who worked before is one, so don't flood my comments with with that. But it's also something that worshiping somebody over that is nonsense. There's no kings. Let's put it that way. Just because they worked at Marvel and DC before, it is just a marketing tactic, and it doesn't actually mean quality. So I want to point out RazorFist as a way around everything that happened, and a truly independent spirit who has embraced really the ethos of old pulp writers from a long, long time ago, which is something we do over here also. He's an inspiration to all of us, and his tactics of not staying in one silo is what's winning at the end of the day. Now, my name is John Delarose. I don't stay in one silo, of course. I follow my own path, and it's been a lot of fun doing so. Flying Sparks is a great series here. It's been 5 volumes and then plus some side stories also. We've been cranking out more content than anybody else out there in the independent sphere on the comic side and on the book side, too. We've 18 novels, 12 graphic novels to boast out since 2017 when we started, running circles around everybody else. Now, we've been suppressed by both the Google algorithm and some people who are bad actors out there, because they don't want you to find different alternative storytelling that's not within a single silo. And that's just how it's been going. But at the same time, the message gets out, and whenever you see it, like, my reviews are through the roof. And so this is something that you can get it on my website. You can also get it on Amazon right now, because those are 2 different silos. Like, you might go to my website just to support me directly. There's a lot of people who come in and just buy books on Amazon because they're book readers. They don't even know who I am, and that's fantastic. That means they're buying it just based on what they see of the book, and those are 2 different silos, 2 different groups of people that I want to appeal to. Now, RazorFist has done much the same thing. If you look, he started his Ghost of the Badlands on Indiegogo as a campaign. Now, the campaign model's great. Of course, I've been banned from Indiegogo, so I'm not there. A little too hot for them. But did a wonderful job. Obviously, 5,000 backers, $350,000. That's an insane victory. He crushed it, and on every level. But he didn't just stop there. He didn't just rest on his laurels, keep this on Indiegogo in this one silo forever. He actually went and teamed with a publisher, Arcaven Comics, to do something really, really cool. And there's different editions being made now, both on the Arcaven website, right here, which is something that is a group buys pretty much dedicated from here, and it's a silo of different people. And then on Amazon as well, like I was just showing with Flying Sparks. He hit a #1 new release. He was beating out A lot of Mark Waid's comics out there, beating out many mainstream comics for sales on Amazon over this last week. It's still crushing it up there. Ghost of the Badlands is just getting a lot of Amazon attention right now, and that's great. It just means he just probably doubled his audience, maybe tripled his audience, by not keeping himself to one silo, not keeping himself to one group. And this is what you need in order to be a creator that's going to succeed and really go somewhere in this market. If you circle the drain around like a tiny group of people that just wants to, just start fights everywhere, cause problems everywhere, and then doesn't actually care much about books, you're going to be in some trouble. And we're finding a lot of people have suffered from that trouble over the last couple of years. The pot's been shrinking. The people who are just kind of stuck in a rut, thriving off of somebody else's audience, are not doing well. And people who are going out and being truly independent, like RazorFist, are really just winning the game. Now, RazorFist didn't come from Marvel or DC. He comes from a commentary background. And he speaks a lot of good truths about just like what are the best comics out there. And what are the best comics out there, my friends? It's European comics, bands dessinées. He speaks about those. Now, that's not a popular message. There's not a like little bands dessinée tribe out there that's really talking about this stuff. But he actually showed that these books are just frankly better than American comic books. And his ethos is that he wants to work more like that. He's really interested in the old pulp classic heroes like the Shadow and the Phantom, ones that were huge in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. Those were they were bigger than Batman and Superman. You just don't know about it today because those are assets that are not really controlled by megalomaniac corporations like Disney. And so they don't promote them like that. And so that's why they are not in the zeitgeist today, because everything that's promoted in the modern zeitgeist in these silos in the mainstream comic industry, which has been dominated by Marvel and DC, are just cancer. And that's what we've had. And so we've had 30, 40 years. When did the comic shop model start? That's when they forced everybody to buy comics, not on newsstands and not around, but in their own little specialty markets that they could flood the stands with and then box out everybody else so that you only think about them and only discuss and talk about them. That's what trapped the entire comic book industry for decades. It wrecked the culture, and that is what we're fighting now. And this is what's great is there's a lot of different silos. A lot of you came over to this channel because you're comic fans. A lot of you came over because you're Warhammer fans, Doctor Who fans, Star Trek fans, all sorts of different reasons to be here. And I appreciate you, video game fans. Hello. And I appreciate all of you and your various interests. But your various interests actually are what make you different, unique audiences, which is why our books are going crazy on Amazon every single day right now, which is amazing. But don't get trapped, because if you just limit yourself to one market, if you limit yourself to one platform, you only have one option, and that is that's a trap. That's what the mainstream comic book industry did by getting you into just comic stores. You just got trapped in the system with Diamond Distribution, who became a monopoly, and it squeezed everybody out who's independent and actually wrecked it, so independents can't even make money. Same thing, if you just stick yourself on Indiegogo, you're just pitching to a very, very limited market, and you shouldn't do that. And here's what Doug TenNaples says. Doug TenNaples made millions in the entertainment industry, of course. He says, you're not culturally trapped. People want to believe they are trapped, so they don't take responsibility for doing nothing, being nothing, then claiming the high ground of victimhood. And that is the entire comic book industry in one nutshell at this point. It's what Doctor Who does. It's the publishing industry. It's Hollywood. All of it is just this at this point. If you look at what Russell T Davies and Nikuti Gatwa are doing with Doctor Who, they're going around and they wrote bad episodes which they knew were going to upset fans, and they tried to trap themselves culturally in if it's 2024, how are we not about identity politics? And what happens as a result? They go around and nobody watches it, and they cry. They cry victim the entire time. What does Heather Antos do in the comic book industry? All she does is cry victim, how she's been harassed, reference her milkshake stuff, reference identity politics. She doesn't ever talk about the quality of the works that are going on over there. It's all the same system. Same thing with Tor Books, all the mainstream publishers for books. It's the same deal across the board. All of these institutions are culturally trapped, but we don't have to be. We can do something different. We can build better. And that's what I'm trying to speak the message of today. We're going to spread our wings far and wide. We're going to change the culture, and we're going to win. It's beautiful. All right. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Congratulations to RazorFist for just this epic win across platforms, like I said. It's amazing. Make sure to go check out Flying Sparks. My web store link is in the description below. If you want to become a Subscribe Star member, that really helps us out too. That's an independent platform, much like Patreon, but it doesn't censor us. And I appreciate you guys for being there. Thanks so much. Happy Sunday.